Ed Gein, the butcher of Plainfield, the real-life horror that inspired 1,000 nightmares. In the quiet town of Plainfield, Wisconsin, the winters were long, the fields stretched endlessly, and the silence carried secrets darker than night itself. No one could have imagined that within one modest farmhouse, surrounded by frostbitten cornfields, lived a man whose deeds would one day inspire Psycho, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the Silence of the Lambs. His name was Ed Gein, and this is his story. Edward Theodore Gein was born in 1906, the second son of George and Augusta Gein. His father was an alcoholic, cruel and distant, but his mother, Augusta, was something far more sinister. A strict, fanatically religious woman, she preached that women, except herself, were instruments of sin. She told her boys that the world was wicked, that sex was evil, and that salvation came only through obedience to her and God. Ed adored her. He hung on every word, every sermon. While his brother Henry grew resentful, Ed became completely devoted, a child shaped not by love, but by fear disguised as holiness. In 1940, Ed's father died of heart failure. 4 years later, tragedy struck again, or perhaps, as some say, destiny unfolded. In 1944, a fire broke out while the brothers were clearing brush. When firefighters arrived, they found Ed safe, but Henry was dead, face down in the dirt. His head bore mysterious bruises. No one investigated. The coroner ruled it accidental. And so, Ed was left alone with his mother. But not for long. Augusta suffered a series of strokes and died in 1945. The world as Ed knew it ended that day. He boarded up every room she had used, sealing her memory like a shrine. He confined himself to a small corner of the house, dirty, decaying, and began to lose his grip on reality. Without Augusta's control, something inside Ed fractured. He spent his days reading pulp magazines, crime, cannibalism, anatomy. He studied the female form not with desire, but with obsession. Soon, he began visiting local cemeteries at night, lantern in hand, shovel over his shoulder. He would dig up freshly buried women who reminded him of his mother and take them home. In his farmhouse, Ed practiced what he called his experiments. He tanned human skin, made masks from faces, and crafted lampshades, chairs, and even clothing from the bodies he unearthed. In his twisted mind, he wasn't a murderer. He was trying to become his mother again, a grotesque resurrection. It all unraveled on a cold November day in 1957. The local hardware store owner, Bernice Worden, disappeared. Her son, the town deputy, found the store empty, except for a receipt written for Ed Gein. When police arrived at Ed's farm, they found something that would scar them for life. In the shed hung Bernice's body, decapitated, gutted like a deer. Inside the house, investigators uncovered a nightmare collection: bowls made from human skulls, a belt made of nipples, masks sewn from human faces, furniture upholstered with flesh, and a woman's suit, complete with breasts, fashioned entirely from human skin. Ed Gein's house was a museum of death. When questioned, Ed spoke with eerie calm. He admitted to killing 2 women, Bernice Worden and tavern owner Mary Hogan, but confessed to grave robbing dozens more. His voice was steady, almost proud, as he described exhuming bodies and experimenting with human remains. "I wanted to know what it felt like," he told investigators, "to wear a woman's skin." The line between fantasy and reality had long blurred. Ed didn't see horror. He saw devotion. To him, it was love. He was declared legally insane and sent to the Central State Hospital for the criminally insane. He would remain there until his death in 1984. The story of Ed Gein shocked the world, not because of the number of his victims, but because of what he represented, the monster hidden in plain sight. He wasn't a city killer or a drifter. He was the man next door, the quiet handyman who kept to himself. His crimes would echo through cinema and culture: Norman Bates in Psycho, Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs. Each character a distorted reflection of Gein's madness, his obsession with identity, his warped love for his mother, and his macabre art of flesh. When Ed Gein died in 1984, his grave was vandalized, pieces of his tombstone stolen by morbid collectors. Even in death, he could not escape fascination. Perhaps that's the final horror of it all, that the quiet man from Plainfield still whispers through our nightmares, reminding us that evil doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it hums softly behind a locked farmhouse door. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.